Hi, I'm Haylley Pittam, and today with me is Laura Ribbins. Laura Ribbins is coming all the way from the Caribbean in Grand Cayman, and she's got her beautiful background to go with it. How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you, Haylley?
Yes, I'm good. So, how has things been for you in Grand Cayman?
Well, it's been interesting 2020 to say for sure. Our government has been amazing with the lockdown. They were very, very strict, but as a result, we're COVID free. And as of
Fantastic.
October 1st, we started letting some private planes come in, returning residents come back, and everyone has to quarantine for 2 weeks. But so little changes, and now we're allowing people with application to quarantine in their homes, and they have to wear a special tracking bracelet. So as long as people can actually behave themselves and be responsible, then I think all in all, we'll stay fairly healthy.
Yeah, fantastic. That's all we can ask, eh? Just people just taking their common sense
Mm.
and not going out. So we know each other from for a very long time, and I'm going to ask you several questions about your background that I might not even know. So I thought this might be a really nice way of getting to know you a bit more. Well, how did you start in the aqua industry?
Well, it's interesting. I'm a teacher, elementary and secondary ed, and I came down to Grand Cayman a long time ago to teach school. And because I'm also, I just, everyone in my family's a teacher. So to teach anyone anything, I love it. And I also love the water. So I just started teaching. I've always taught swimming. I think even when I was in high school, I would help in the swimming pool. So when I came to Grand Cayman and was teaching school, I also took those kids to the sea to make sure they were water safe. And of course, Grand Cayman's surrounded by water. But it was shocking to me when I first got here how many people did not know how to swim. And all the kids are barefoot on the rocks fishing, but they didn't know how to swim.
How old were these
So,
kids?
oh, young kids, they're all running around at 5, 6, 7, 8 on the rocks
Okay.
fishing.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and I've always had a passion for babies. So I went up to get certified as a lifeguard in Michigan, visiting some friends, and my girlfriend teaches baby swim. So she got involved with that, and then she came down to Grand Cayman, and I don't know, somehow I started teaching baby. Everything just sort of milked itself into swimming lessons, and I've been called many things, but child whisperer, baby whisperer, whatever. Somehow, because you have the passion for what you do, it makes it all so much easier to inspire others to be the best they can be.
Yeah.
So now the swimming and then the aqua fitness just got married along with it, because in the West Indies there were a lot of heavier women at that time. That was West Indian way of life. They
Yeah.
liked their women. They liked their women heavier. So when I had my building, which has been called Fitness Connection, it was my home and my workplace. We built a pool, and 6 feet deep in the max, and we would do water fitness in there. And I realized that it's true. Several magic things happen in the water. Number one, you can do a lot of non-impact. Number two, the deeper these people go, the less of their weight on their feet. The joy of movement and dancing in the water vertically, the joy, they could move like they could move on land.
Yeah.
And then just something about the water. Haylley, there's something about the water when everyone's energy is in that water together. It's magic. And water people, when they get out, they sort of share something. And I also realized that I can get out of the water and feel like, whoa, that was, I feel like I did something. Whereas sometimes in a studio or gym, you feel like you've been hit by a Mack truck when you get out of your workout. So
Yeah.
the water became very gratifying. And then the athletes realized that, oh, I've been injured. This is interesting. I can run in the deep water, fix my Achilles issue,
Yeah.
and then get back out and start running again. So I think and then that rolled into being part of an amazing family with Aquatic Exercise Association and other people that love the water as well. And it was one big, huge new world for me back then.
Yeah. So when did you meet everyone from A.E.A? When did you start going into the Aqua certifications?
I'm not a time or age person,
No.
so I really have to look it up. But I figure my son's 24, and I've been presenting internationally before he was born. So I'm saying, I don't know, 20, almost 30 years ago.
Wow.
I would guess. Yeah. So and I mean, I traveled, I was lucky enough to go present in Brazil when I was still pregnant with Sam, and then got to go back there right after he was born again.
Amazing. That's awesome.
And being he was a water baby.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
Yeah. So where else have you been able to present? You've been to Brazil and obviously mainland America. Have you been anywhere else?
In Europe, a couple places in Europe, especially Portugal and Spain, South America, Australia, New Zealand, a couple times, which is fabulous. Japan, that was
nice.
Good. Great experiences. I know. And now we're traveling virtually. Yes. And sharing through the internet.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there is a slight language barrier every so often, or a miscommunication every so often, but otherwise this virtual world is doing really well.
Yes, and I think I've been in pools I went to one place in Spain and the pool was up to my knees. Mm-hmm. So I had to quickly shift and pivot, like we're getting really good at, to what I was going to teach. I had to change my workout. When I went to Japan, they warned me when I got there. They said, listen, I hope you have tons of choreography because these peeps pick this up quickly, and they do. It was so, I must say, I love having a great mindset 99% of the time and being able to pivot. I feel very fortunate and blessed that I can do that. Yeah. So to take a workout and realize that, whoa, in 5 minutes, they're going to have this down pat, and I've got another 55 minutes after that. To be able to come up with something and to enjoy them for what they could do, and to use them to come up, to share with each other, and to come up with even more, in that case, choreography. I don't know. It's just, isn't it a joy? It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. I see sometimes videos of the way that the Chinese, Japanese, and Korean, like their classes are set up, and they are very in time. They are absolutely spot on with their choreography. They are, well, like I say, they're all doing it at the same time, spot on, without any problems or any corrections. So yeah, I couldn't imagine teaching that there.
And no mirrors. They just have each other.
Yeah. Wow. And with obviously being at these different places, different countries, what have you noticed is the difference in their style in the different Aqua Aerobics classes that they teach in the different countries?
That's a really good question. I think 20-something years ago was different than 10 years ago, different than 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Depending on age groups.
Yeah.
And music, of course, is so influential. And then we had, Zumba in the water, and of course we all do that. You've got so many different kinds of participants coming, and they're all coming for different reasons. Are they coming for your energy? Are they coming for because they just want to not think and copy? Are they coming to be socialized, to just socialize with everybody else?
Yes.
And I think to respect that they're all there for different reasons. What is interesting from the presenter or instructor's point of view is to make sure they set their intentions at the beginning of their class to, if you want everyone to be doing exactly what you're doing, and this is a workout and no one's allowed to talk, set the stage, because in a room that has no mirrors, which is your aquatic place, and people are touching each other, usually next to the water, or they're feeling the energy in the water and they want to share and they want to talk. And they all show up on time, as you know. No one's ever late for water fitness, not. And so you know, it's you just have what I see the biggest change in is people being able to set out a joy of what they're teaching and the intention of what they're trying to teach, and be okay that there might be 25 or maybe 5 different versions of what they're doing in front of them.
Yeah.
And then it's okay.
Yeah.
Just saying yesterday, I don't know if you have this song called Jerusalem going on, but in the fitness class, oh, it's really a fun song. It's hitting all the charts. But it's a dance from Africa. I think South Africa started anyhow.
Yeah.
So everyone loves the music. So I decided, okay, I'll learn the choreography and I'll do it. Well,
oh, is this the one?
It's like,
I might have seen this. There's been a few instructors that have done it in the water. That's a routine that they've then mimicked. Does that make sense?
It's like line dance.
Yeah.
And you can. So anyhow, it's a lot of fun. The music's really uplifting, especially in today's world. And anyhow, what we were talking about is, you watch the videos and there's a couple of people that can really move their backside. And then somehow when you go to do it, you think you're doing exactly what that person's doing on the video until you look in the mirror and you go, oh my God, I'm not doing anything like what I just saw. In the water, you don't have the mirrors. No. So they can live the moment. They can move how they want. And as instructors, so to get back to your question of how I think different parts of the world treat it, nowadays, let's just talk about nowadays. Nowadays, every country has gazillion different kinds of immune disorders. Every country is dealing with different mindsets. Every country is dealing with anxiety, depression, lack of self-confidence. Because it's all out there with people nowadays, as aquatic instructors, how cool is it for us that we are now have an arena in front of us with a bunch of different things, different people in different circumstances, where the water is probably the one place they can come, feel good, and not have to deal with, when they get out and deal with gravity, that the fact that they might have a nerve sensitivity, or maybe the one leg. I mean, if you're coming as an amputee to the pool, man, let's shake the daylights out of that one leg you have. And take what you do have and use it. And I think more and more aquatic professionals are now looking at the industry as, my goal is to strengthen, or my goal is relaxation, or my goal is flexibility, my goal is cardio, and then just get it done and take out the judgment.
Yeah.
Just take the judgment out of it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, completely. And there is such a freedom when it comes to the water, because they can't be seen. They can do whatever they want underneath the water. So if they do take a step wrong, no one knows. I might be able to see, but that no one else can see that they've just taken their step wrong, or no one else can tell that they've gone to the left and everyone else has gone to the right. That kind of thing. They're not in the same situation compared to a land-based class. They're not as vulnerable, but it is interesting to see how different the kind of styles from around the world show through. And at the A.E.A. convention, that's where you kind of see a lot more of the different styles that come through from the presenters for the styles that they teach in their countries.
Huge variety, and that's once again where respect for the individual is so important. And I know you might relate to this from when you were actually really at conferences.
Yes.
When you get them virtually, it's different. Either they're your style or not. But the cool thing is you might look at someone teaching going, oh, I don't know if I could get bored doing that or not. And then you realize the class is packed. Yeah. There are a lot of people out there that's exactly their style. And I think that's opened my mindset up to just to respect that everyone's different. They don't want to be the one on deck teaching, trust me, but they want to be in the water. And I must say, our style since COVID started, when we were allowed to let people come back in the pool. And in Cayman Islands, we were allowed, 2 people. I had to ask for special permission because of therapy to have 2 people with me.
Oh, okay.
And then we were able to have 5 people. And now there's I think it's 250 is the limit. But
you can have 250, or is in like in your house, or 250 in your pool?
I think I wish I had that big of a pool. I think in a gathering now you can have 250. Don't quote me, but I know it's right up there. With us, we only have about 8 to 10 people, sometimes 14, 15 per class. But we had to respect how everyone felt comfortable in the water. Some people are still not comfortable coming back. And we just did a contest where we put everyone's name in from last year, did a drawing for some free month passes.
Yeah.
And what's so ironic is 3 of the people that won passes haven't been back because of finances or because of not feeling comfortable outside their house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by them winning this pass, suddenly it's like, oh, thank you. And hopefully we'll see them on Monday next week.
Yeah.
But it's just, we have to, the industry is amazing and it's not going to stop growing.
No. I think we've got we've got so much more to give to the we've got so much to give to the aquatic world and the people who are coming to our classes, that it's not just one size fits all. There is so much out there for everyone. What's your favorite style of class? What's your favorite class to teach?
That's a good, favorite, meaning I finish and go, is, I'm going to give you from 2 different, answer that 2 different ways. My favorite kind of class to teach is when I've taught and they are all smiling and get out and love it. And I ask the 3 most important questions. I say, what did we do well today? Which doesn't put me in the spot. It opens up to what did they like the most?
Yeah.
Number 2 question is, what would you have liked to have done differently?
Yeah.
And number 3, what do you want to do more of? And then I have my lesson plan for the next class.
Yeah.
So their response is my best class. My best, I love power. I love using a scale of, for cardio, 1 to 10, heart rate 1, sleeping 10, being chased by a shark. And having them figure out, oh, that was on a scale of 1 to 10. That was me being an 8. Woo, that feels good. I've never been an 8 before. And then with strengthening for them to, I know you love to ask what's your favorite piece of equipment. Well, I really think it's our hands. And because and their legs, the back of their legs especially, once on a scale of 1 to 5, I use for toning. So 1, you can't feel it. 5 is like, my triceps, I really feel that. If they understand how to use the water, and most of it was strength and endurance, muscular strength and endurance gains, that's another whole buzz for them. So when those little light bulbs go on, they never go back to the way they were before because they get it. And I would say teaching a class, it's either an interval training, a high intensity interval training, a equipment cardio class with intervals. My intention is to get those light bulbs to come on and to get someone to show up. I always ask them, how do you want to show up today? You decide. If you're in there going fluff, you're giving me fluff as far as exercise, today might be your fluff day, awesome. But how do you want to show up? And I talk about that a lot since January. Yeah. And it's, the fact that they did show up was the first part, yes, but physically. But how do you, if I was taking a video of you right now, what do you want it to look like? And then suddenly I have a little bit more intention of why they're there. Some of it is just to get out of the house. They've been locked up with their family or they've got their kids and they need time to talk and not do anything. But so if I can
talk about that, we could talk about that for ages.
So I just think nowadays, that's my intention, and keeping in mind what's happened to the individual over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months for us, then since February really for us, I just think it's whatever I can offer. You know, I usually say, what do you want to work on today?
Yeah.
And the answer is usually,
I was gonna say, do they is there a popularity for the HIIT classes and the Tabata styles?
yes. And what's interesting is I have a great guy, A.R.E.A, teaching a lot of our classes right now in the water. And he does a lot of counting and sets. And what's so interesting about this, and I do the same in the studio classes, people want to know what's going to happen, because my mom, Haylley, not to get sidetracked, she's not going to be 92, an amazing, active woman, totally active. She'd look 60. I asked her how she's been feeling, and she's gone through different phases, but the latest phase for her is she feels like she's drifting. Okay. And I did a Facebook Live on that, and all the remarks back were, what an interesting word, drifting, because people, we don't know what's going to happen. Yep. And then that means we're drifting. So the other side of that coin is, if someone can come to an aquatic fitness class, look at the instructor, and then you get the plan, and you know you're doing 5 sets of this, and now you're doing this, there's no drifting, there's a plan. And that's very gratifying to at least know that 1 hour of your day had a plan.
Yeah, it's planned, Yeah, that puts a different mindset to it as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I think people need a plan. And I don't know, I just learned after all these years, I just learned what FOMO was. And I found the fear of missing out.
Yes.
And I found with the internet in February, when everything's getting locked down and I'm trying to like find you and some of your aquatic stuff and other people, I'm like, I know it starts in an hour. Where is it? You have all these different platforms. And that alone was stressful.
Yeah.
So now we sort of have FOMO, where people will go through thick or thin in traffic to make sure they get to a class, because they know just how much it helps up here for the day, besides physically.
Yes, yeah, completely. The kind of mindset of having power phases into the class, or the kind of energy that you're talking about, if they're feeling really frustrated, they can take that out on the pool, they can take that out on the water. They can take that energy and just throw their arms, throw their legs, power through. You did say a second ago your favorites were your hands and the back of the legs. If I said equipment, you said hands and back of legs. Are these hands with gloves on, or just hands that are empty?
Hands that are empty, and the back of your. What was interesting is when everyone was stuck at their house and they were blessed to have a swimming pool, private, you weren't allowed to use hotels or condo pools. If you had a private house with a private pool, you're allowed to go in it. All the stores, because everything is delivery based, they ran out of all pool equipment as fast as they could. But of course, to tell people about their empty water jugs, I mean, man, ask your mom, I'm sure she did. And I don't do age, so I still think I'm 30, but those empty water jugs years ago with milk cartons, that's what we had.
Yeah. And the washing up bowl, the no. Yeah, all those kind of empty bottles.
So anything. So if we can teach people how to use their hands and then their arm, and when they do a basic kick, how to push down with the back of their leg rather than focus on the up.
Yeah.
Once they know how to use their body, then my next favorite piece of equipment, of course, is are the helmets.
Okay, the Aqualogics.
Yes, Aqualogics. Thank you. They kill me. Aqualogic. So fun because there's no buoyancy. So with the neck and the shoulders of having to pull a buoyant object under the ground, Aqualogic is my next favorite.
Yeah.
Whether it's on your ankle, on your wrist, in your hands. And my favorite exercise with that is so many people, when they're doing their arms open and close, because of these shoulders being constantly here and over in this acromion process, being this horrible posture, especially everyone home on the internet now and working from home, to open up those arms, to keep their thumb up is one cue rather than roll the arm. But with Aqualogic, I can say blade up, and I can actually really use that Aqualogic, the surface area, so they can feel that shoulder can go back and those scapulas can retract. So the body awareness with equipment, of course, I think is very key.
Awesome. And the legs, would you put the cuffs on the legs?
The cuffs are great. I've the Speedo cuffs, the ones that Velcro on, they've been worth their weight in gold. Hydrologic cuffs. I've had once in a problem, of course, everyone has a problem sometimes with Velcro, because Velcro gets old. And when you're not a time person, you suddenly realize. I had a problem with one of the Velcros the other day, and I thought, oh my gosh, I've had this Aqualogic for almost 5 years.
Oh, wow.
So 4 years. So when it first came out, I did a demo with it at one of the A.R.E.A conferences.
Oh, amazing.
So now, of course, I've got to turn around and order some new equipment.
They just brought out some new ones, you know.
They did. I'm on it. But of course, we've got shipping and duty and a few other things. They've got to be, I'll bring it in to sell it as well.
Yeah, because obviously you've got your own pool, and then in the Caribbean where you live, there are people that have their own pool in their own houses. So do you go to their houses as well as them coming to you?
Yes.
And give them aqua training in their pools?
A lot of men.
Oh, a lot of men.
Yeah, a lot of just guys working all day or retired that they want to turn around and become more fit, or at least have that half hour of them exercising.
Yeah, that's amazing. Have you got anyone that's focused on something like a marathon, or are they just focused on their day-to-day?
Most of them is getting their cholesterol down, weight. Yeah. And a lot of them are smokers. Yeah. A lot of them are drinkers, especially after COVID. So it's trying to get to the place that they want to go.
These gentlemen have in their training session, one of the things that I just wanted to ask in relation to that was the fact that when it comes to guys coming into water aerobics, we don't see it very often. And so do they ask specifically for aqua aerobics, or are you advising them to have aqua aerobics?
The men, we have quite a few men. The men that come to Fitness Connection in our pool, let's say 2 or 3, plus it's a male instructor.
Oh, okay, yeah, that does make a difference.
And so they love him because he's regimented. It took a while for, it's like to have someone different.
Yes.
So my energy level and my motivation might be different, but what he delivers is consistency, and they know what they're getting. They can get a challenge each time. Yeah. Consistency is key. And then we have what's helped is our WhatsApp group chat. So we're constantly on there encouraging everyone to come, including the guys. And then so that group that community. Yeah. And the men that do come, one of them is one of the head judges. So he had a knee injury, and so hence he came with his wife to do water. Now he's hooked. He'd much rather be doing this. Either this or playing hacky sack.
Oh, fantastic.
And then
compare aqua to hacky sack.
Well, it's a whole new move now because they got me back into hacky sack. I hadn't played forever. We were stuck in the airport here, and as a result, we had playing hacky sack for a couple hours. The single men that go, usually their wives are in or their kids. I'm multitasking. Kids swimming, puppies jumping in the water, guys working out. I think it is because they feel comfortable personally with me. Yeah. And I don't judge. And it's very regimented. It's not like there's no choreography that they think. My moves might be choreography, but I segmentize them like karate would. So first you do this. I mean, it's the same workout to start with, and then we add things on the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one thing that you do really, really well is you are able to give them an exercise and link it with something that they do on a day-to-day basis, or have that connection so that they're able to understand. So say, for example, that they might be hoovering, but actually they're doing exercises with a rock in the water. I know that you do that a lot. I know that that's something that, you know, you're able to get the customers to do the work because that's how you help them to think about it.
And I think being straightforward, you know, like I know their health history and what they're trying to accomplish. So to ask those questions, okay, what's the intention today?
Yeah.
Before I even get in the water. Once I know that intention, I know what their work day has been like because they work from home and they're getting out of the house without the wife and the child.
Yes.
You might have a new puppy jump in the pool, but anyhow, it's to be able to roll with the punches, to accept them, no judgment.
Yeah.
And I just think more, I mean, I could be booked all day with private lessons at people's houses. I go to another family because they like early in the morning, but they don't want to get in the traffic anymore. They don't want to go to a public place. They don't want to go, they just want to get it done.
Yeah.
And for a few extra dollars to go to someone's house, it's by the time they figure gas, my time, going and coming, it's easier for them to come here because I can get more done.
It's great. I mean, you are very much known for the baby swimming. And so do you ever do any of the kids fitness side of things? Do you ever get the kids doing a form of aqua fitness?
Well, it's interesting you say that. During the last couple months, I have had a couple kids. The request was, can you keep the kids fit? Because they already take swimming lessons, but they need to do something else.
Yeah.
But it would always come back to swimming. You know, you have them race across the pool in a noodle, you know, do an obstacle course. There's always some kind of swimming skill involved, but they would love it. You know, whether it's running off a raft, crashing in the pool, you know, having to swim underwater, do jumping jacks in the shallow end, you know, just come up with fun stuff. They just want to move and have fun.
Yeah, definitely. What do you prefer? Do you prefer teaching one-to-ones or do you prefer teaching group fitness?
If I had to give a specific answer, I think one-to-one.
Yeah, you're able to give more attention to that person.
Yes, but their success and what their intention is better.
Okay.
They're being held accountable. They have to, and then you know what else I get to do? I get all the other things I do with under the umbrella of Fitness Connection, whether it's nutritional, mindset, positivity.
Yeah.
Because I am that person that can, they leave not only feeling like they got exercise, but feeling like they have a better mindset, or they are able to vent and take something that was very negative to them and turn it around to a positive thing.
Yeah.
So something as simple as, this is recent, a lot of people.
Yeah.
Something as simple as changing one word. Like, as soon as I finish this, I have to go take the kids to the school. Then I have to go to the supermarket. Then I have to do this and I have to do that.
Yeah.
If they just changed it to, after this, I get to go to the supermarket.
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah.
I get to go here, and then I get to go here. Like yesterday, with the hurricane coming, the supermarkets I knew were going to be crazy, and everyone's WhatsApping how crazy it's going to be. So I text back and I just said, I'm so excited. I get to go to the supermarket now. It's gonna be awesome. I get to go shopping. And you could feel through my phone, people thinking, what? She wants to go shopping, and they text back and they go, you do know it's crazy, don't you? I know, but think how many good people I'm going to see. And they sort of question, you're happy going to the supermarket? You might not find a parking space. Well, it just means I have to walk a little farther. So it's just, I think of it as a fun challenge every day to change mindset because it makes them happier. So, yeah.
That's great. With the years that you've been in the industry, what can you tell has happened with the changing and evolving from where it started when you first started being an instructor to what it is now?
I think when Ruth Sova got involved originally and realized the power of what water was with all those things we didn't understand. We got certified, law of acceleration, law of attraction, whatever. Law of acceleration. I think attraction, law of attraction. That's how we get them into class, law of attraction. I think the biggest change has been education.
Yeah.
People sharing so people can hear them. Knowing the benefits for every single age.
Yeah.
I must say a light bulb went on about 30 years ago when I was teaching baby swim. And well, actually, more specifically, my son, when he was a baby, they were all swimming. Had a group of like 6 of them. And we have these platforms, if you remember, called them castles in the pool.
Yeah.
And they could, before 7 months, they could hold on to these things and start to stand up. All their structural muscles. Meanwhile, I'm teaching adults as well in therapy in the pool. To understand that, oh my gosh, so this is how little guys learn how to walk. Their structural muscles get strong. Well, in the water, because it's at least 12 times more resistant than air, all of Sam's little friends, Sam crawled for 1 week and ran at 9 months because their bodies were all so strong structurally that on the other flip side, I was going, no wonder this helps people that, well, I don't know what's old, but let's just say 90 and 100, if that's what you think old is. As people get older, they need more balance and stability.
Yeah.
No wonder the water is so magical. So when I saw that, I thought, oh my God, this is a no-brainer for everybody, every age, every condition, someone who's blind.
Yeah.
And like I said, and I know you feel the same way. Someone walks in, they're missing a limb. Let's get busy with the other 3 that you still have, and we all have potential to show up better in the world. And I just think our eyes have opened, and hopefully a lot of other people feel the same way as I do. Now with people that have time for self-development, it's hard not to get wrapped up into it all day. I can do self-development all day long. I love it. But there's so much out there that you're going to say something and I'm going to hear you go, oh my gosh, that's right, Haylley. Someone else will say something so someone else could hear it. And I don't know, I think the whole world is just bigger ears. We're using our senses more. Realizing there's a lot of, it's not just people. There's a gazillion different kinds of bodies, people, situations out there. And as people are each dealing with their, when I grew up, we didn't have autoimmune disorders. No. Now you can't even, I was going to look it up in a minute and see how many are they up to now? They think of a new one every day. So we're being bombarded with our lifestyles, with our food, nutrition. So therefore, why don't we just take Aqua and realize the potential of it in the medical field, mental wellness, physical wellness. And I just pray, if I can speak out here, that I just pray that different countries can see how valuable it is, especially for insurance purposes and government health programs, to realize how important it is for people.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So evolving from when you first started to where it is now, the education and the research that's come through is probably quadrupled compared to when you first started out. Yeah. Ruth Sober was in charge of A.E.A. back then, or was it Angie and Julie that were in charge?
It was Ruth Sober, and then Angie and Julie.
Yeah.
And Ruth did my certification down in Cayman Islands years ago. And, then she went into the aquatic therapy field because she realized what was happening. And of course, Angie and Julie are flipping amazing. You can't, look what they've done for the world, and their big, huge hearts. And then it's contagious. You get people in Brazil coming up with Nino and the rest of them coming up with amazing research. And there's no selfishness. You know what I mean? I think it's so nice.
Yeah.
There's no front of the room. In a studio class, you're in the front of the room.
Yeah. I think we're a caring community as well. We're trying to help each and every person out as best we can. Definitely. Linda's doing a lot of research at the moment. She's doing her PhD. So there's going to be even more coming from her.
And I think the generations coming up, you know, if they can have a wide, what do I want to call it? Feel gratitude for all the options out there, but also I think here's the biggest thing. I think and I'm like this, you know this, I love being everywhere. And I think with the aquatic industry, it's everywhere, literally and figuratively, in every discipline. So if you want to train rugby players,
yeah,
and get on Google, you can find the answer. If you need help, you're trying to, what can I do for prenatal exercise? Man, just go onto the AEA Wave website, ask a question. There are so many people out there that can answer it for you.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing the aquanatal side. I've rewritten my education for online so that people can learn about aquanatal.
Yay!
Yeah.
Now I know who to come to.
Yeah.
And who to send people to. Yes,
you can come to me. Any pelvic care issues, anything like that, I'm your girl.
There you go. I have a hard enough trying to make people to loosen up and move the pelvis. So we'll see if we can, oh my gosh. Anyhow.
Yeah, I've got a thing at the end of my classes that I will always do. And I say, you know, like, move like no one's watching, move like seaweed, get your bodies moving. And you've got this like 2-3 people going. And I'm like, that's not moving your body. You got to move your body. And they're like, this is weird.
But once they get it, they love it.
Yeah, once they start letting themselves go, obviously they burst into fits of laughter and think that they're being ridiculous, but they're not. And once they get that rhythm and their hips moving, then you start seeing them loosen up, and the more they do it, the better they get at it. But yeah, it's quite interesting. I always think it's like the English thing, you know, the stiff upper lip type thing, you know, just no, that's as much as I'm going to move.
I love it.
So one of the things that I want to ask is, if you are advising a new instructor who's coming into the industry, what advice would you give them?
I would have them do 3 things.
Okay.
See if you can go to a physical therapy class and participate, even if you're injury-free, with ears, open heart. Number 2, I would go to several different aquatic instructors classes. Yeah. Get a taste. Different environments. Maybe it's a huge public pool, maybe it's a private pool, whatever you can get your hands on. Yeah. It'd be worth your investment taking other people's classes. Yeah. Then I'd go search out Aquatic Exercise Association. Yeah. Which can very easily have a practical side as well as a theory side, depending on where you are. And just associate yourself with professionals that can, once you have your basic water fitness certification, they can hook you up with who's worth getting a video from. You're going to go watch, some of Julie's, or maybe you want to watch some of Lori DeMond's stuff on what she's doing. Or maybe now that we know about Haylley, email Haylley, what she have out there for CECs for, pelvic work and back care. And I think this is where you decide, get a little bit of everything and then figure out your style. Yeah, because everyone has their own style as well. Yeah, definitely. And definitely partner up with somebody. If you're nervous about your first class, get someone else to teach with you, and you do one segment, they do the next. Like maybe I'll do chest and back for 2 minutes, and then the guy does legs while I go, what do I have to do next? And then, have it written out, have it on the side of the pool, just go for it. Yeah, definitely. How many instructors do you think there are on Cayman Islands? Water fitness? Yeah. Certified? Yeah. 4, 5? Yeah. Well, that just means that you're, prime person to have. You're the best one on the island. And several of them are, so 2, myself and someone else here. Yeah. There's other people that teach water fitness. I don't think they're updated with certifications. Yeah. And then the other 3 I'm thinking about are all physical therapists who either use our pool or go somewhere else that are A.E.A certified, and then just renew every year because they're physical therapists.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic.
Yeah.
So coming up to end this chat, this is a very Linda question, and we know that you're never going to retire, but Linda's question is that if you ever retire, what would you like to be known for?
Inspiring healthy living and helping people show up to be a better version of themselves.
Nice. Nice. I like that.
And you know all the things I do. That's sort of what it's all about, right?
Yeah, I can see that happening. I mean, you know, you're not going to retire. You'll still be doing this when you're 90. So we know you'll still be around.
And if you can help other people become better at what they're doing, that might be an instructor. It could be a mom with a baby. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are learning how to be parents all over again because they never had to stay home with their kids because they had a nanny. And then they had to pivot and stay home with their kids and work from their So there's a lot of new things out there. And if
I was going to say, that's something that in the Cayman Islands is very common, is to have the nannies do all the work.
And I think if we can give people tools of how to be a better parent.
It's actually something that I didn't even think about, the fact of, you know, the wealth side of life. For over there, they have got the nannies that can drop off the kids to swimming, or the nannies that can look after the kids, and obviously they wouldn't have had that, or not as much. Oh wow, yeah, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah. So anyhow, this has been such fun. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you for meeting me and having this chat. And it's really nice to obviously spread the word about Aqua Aerobics and get people more knowing that, you know, we've got more to offer out there. And obviously coming from the Cayman Islands, you're also focused on trying to get more people into the water, as well as myself in England trying to get more people into the water as well.
You've done an amazing job. Keep us posted on all your conferences virtually.
I will. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to stop the recording button.